Good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever may be appropriate for you, wherever you are and whenever you are. Hope the world has been treating you well. Certainly, the world is a bit goddamn questionable at the moment in its treatment of, all of us, honestly. It's a bit fucking dodgy, quite honestly. Luke with the Melbourne-based pun, because I talked about sunshine, this being just past the shortest day of the year. Luke wants to skip sunshine and go straight to Footscray. Yeah, I lived in sunshine for a while, and Footscray for a while. Footscray before it was trendy. Now, apparently, Footscray is one of the trendiest areas in Melbourne. I lived there 20 years ago. It was not trendy 20 years ago, but I liked living there. But now I'm on the other side of town. And David in tropical Tasmania, g'day to you. Yes, this is not a very tropical time of the year in Tassie, I imagine. A bit bleak weather-wise. Tassie and your near cousins in Antarctica, it can be a bit chilly. Oh, what is this stupid fucking phone doing? I just put you down. Jesus. Technology, what's it doing to me? Why is it messing with me? Oh, life is too difficult. Just looking at what is that? Extensions. Oh, okay. That's because I installed Netflix Party a while ago and never used it. I don't think that really took off. I don't know. I heard people talking about it for a little while, doing Netflix parties, but it didn't really grab the zeitgeist as far as I can tell. Hey, Stella, how's Solstice treating you? What is the temperature here? It's 10 here. So we're about the same, David. You're 8 Celsius. We're about 10 Celsius. It probably depends what the humidity's like outside, whether you're feeling it. So, the end of weekend. Back to work with the long commute from my bedroom to the table just behind me there. I am not. Well, looks like I'm not giving it up for a while. My contract is in a nebulous state at the moment, although supposedly going to be extended, but I don't know for sure. The old work from home ain't getting lifted anytime soon in Melbourne town. We're getting new cases, and it's all a bit dodgy. Yeah, look, basically, I just thought I was going to enjoy the live chats over Netflix watch parties. So I never got into it. Oh, Annette, you snuck in. I saw Stella's there, and I thought it was Stella twice because you just both got the blue icons. Hello. Stella. Oh, no, I thought you were talking about dinner. Your potatoes got smashed by a 2-degree night. No. Oh, I thought you were just making a joke about like smashed potatoes for dinner, but it was actually a potato crop. That's not good. Not good at all. Ugh. Oh, well. This is the life of someone growing produce. Mrs. Angry is the gardener in our house. She's actually mostly growing flowers and succulents at the moment. She grows veggies sometimes. She has actually just planted some spring onions, I think. And I think that's the only veg going at the moment. Sometimes she has a lot of veg going. I think we've got some herbs in the garden. But yes, I am not so much the gardener. So I'll leave that in the capable hands of Mrs. Angry. I did grow potatoes once by accident. from a compost pile place, and this is like 30 years ago. And the place where I was living, we decided to have a compost pile in the backyard. Don't know what we ever thought we were going to do with it, but yeah, we would put food scraps in there, and both potatoes and cherry tomatoes grew out of the compost. So then I got us, rescued them a bit and replanted them. I staked the cherry tomatoes, and they did actually grow, which was very interesting. Oh, at least you moved half your crop into the greenhouse, Stella. That's okay. And Catherine, hello. Good evening to you. Luke, you were hoping to get a job in gardening, doing some classes. Well, it's always good to do classes, man. Yeah, you should practice your gardening. So when society collapses, we'll all have to grow our own food and fight off the marauding gangs. So that's something to look forward to, our Mad Max future. I will just be old and apologizing to younger people. Sorry, we kind of knew this was going to happen. Didn't really do anything to stop it. Sorry. I feel like quite the fool now in retrospect. Yes. Wow. How did I get onto such a bleak subject so quickly? Need to steer away from there. Still, yeah, accidental potatoes are great. It was very interesting to have grown accidental potatoes. Pretty sure we ate them, but yeah, it was a big surprise when I discovered them. It's not horticultural. It's kitchen though. Look, I'm making another batch of. Oh, geez, that's just flaring out really badly, isn't it? Is it? No, geez, that's just. This is the sun. That's lemon peel covered in caster sugar, and the caster sugar is slowly leaching the oils out of the lemon skins. Will then turn into a syrup that I will use in cocktails. Oh no, Stella, your frost damaged crop was only a couple of weeks from harvest. Oh, dang. Oh, maybe you can recover them. Or, yeah, have to wait for your spring crop. Well, weather, it sucks, doesn't it? Luke, your work friend Cindy grows a lot in her backyard. You don't want people to, again, that's the other thing you're going to have to do come the apocalypse. Not just grow our own food, but fortify our compounds to keep the marauders out. So, sharpen some sticks, that sort of thing. I'm quite a big fan of The Walking Dead. I read the comics for years before the TV show started. And although a lot of people rag on the TV show, I still quite enjoy it. Although I do spend a lot of time going, oh my God, I know how to avoid that happening. Sorry, I just thought I saw something. That's okay. Thought it was one of the cats. You're always worried about the occasional roaming mob of the dead coming upon their compounds. And it's like, well, I can dig trenches, put spikes in them, and, the dead aren't smart. They're walking, but the show is not called The Clever Dead. It's just called The Walking Dead. So just have, instead of straight roads coming to your gates, have to be a winding path that, a living person can navigate quite easily. But the dead, and they're shambling along, would get caught on spikes and barbed wire and fall into pits and whatnot. Quite annoyed me that they never did that. But hey, I wait for my turn in a zombie apocalypse, I guess. Hey, Invisible Chicken, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. I don't usually drink Pepsi this late at night. The reason I'm drinking this is I poured myself a drink and then virtually forgot about it, and then went, oh, that's still there. I was watching a movie and I got distracted, and so normally because of the caffeine, I would have stopped drinking Pepsi before like 7. So now I'm drinking it after 8. Oh, is it going to mess with my sleep? Probably. Okay, sleep. I will tell you a funny story. Mrs. Angry gets annoyed because sometimes when I dream, I try and grab things in my dream, and so my body tries to grab things. And Mrs. Angry says that means on occasion I grab her or poke her or whatever, and she just sort of, elbows me and wakes me up because I'm doing this terribly. And this morning, and fortunately it was more or less wake up time, but I was having a dream, and it was like a video game, and I was jumping between levels in this multi-story building, and there were like handrails on the thing, and I jumped down a level and grabbed onto the handrail and I lost my grip. And because I had my arm around Mrs. Angry, so what I did is grabbed her and went, yeah, and she's gone to pull my hand away, and that's just communicated in the dream to my hand was slipping off the rail. And so apparently I just grabbed a hold of it even tighter, and she's trying to pull. The more she tries to pull the hand away, the more I'm sort of poking her, and it eventually woke me up, and I realized instantly what was happening. And I'm like, sorry. It's like, oh, what an idiot. Honestly, that was stupid. Catherine, you don't know much about The Walking Dead other than Jeffrey Dean Morgan's excitement when he got offered the role. He was a big fan. And yeah, he guessed it was Negan before the producer. I have seen interviews with him. His like agent contacted him and said, hey, look, they want you to read for a role for a big bad in an upcoming season of The Walking Dead. And apparently he's like, holy fuck, is it Negan? Is it Negan? Get him on the phone before they change their mind. Shit, it's got to be Negan. And he's great in The Walking Dead as Negan, but he's very interesting. There's 2 key bad guy characters. One was from an early season, the governor, and now more recently Negan. And the people cast in the role were completely physically different to how they were portrayed in the comics. Like most of the comic characters who are in the TV show, the actor playing them at least approximates what they were like in the comic, most of them. But these bad guys in particular, the governor in the comics is a skinny, creepy guy with a long handlebar mustache. And in the TV show, he was a fairly big, beefy guy with square jaw. Again, the guy who played him was very good. He was actually an English actor playing an American Southerner. He was very good. But again, physically completely different. And in the comics, Negan is actually modeled on like young Henry Rollins, like a bodybuilder. Like he's huge. He's just a big guy. And of course, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is not a bodybuilder guy. He's very good as Negan, but it's interesting how different he is physically from the comic representation. Okay, Stella and Luke, being glad they're single so no one pokes them or grabs them or knees them or elbows them in the bed. It is the biggest hazard of co-sleeping random arms and legs and heads around. If you both, particularly if you're both asleep and you both move at the same time, but you can clash. Yeah, no, it is biggest risk. Invisible Chicken, you are getting better. That is a good thing. Working on an essay about the interpretation of liberty in America, analyzing both the status of Black Americans for all these years being freed from slavery. That sounds both admirable and slightly heavy going. and I hope it goes well for you. There's certainly a lot to unpack with America's rather complex history with the idea of liberty for some. Yes, it is weird and complex. Hey, speaking of America and weird shit, did anyone see the bit from Trump's Tulsa rally where he's going, because people have been saying this, the way he can't drink water, which is admittedly hilarious. He does this fucking weird thing where he holds a glass in two hands and goes, which I had always assumed, and I think I'm right, that he was worried about smearing his makeup because it's on so heavily. But he did this thing at the rally where he drank a cup of water with one hand and like and the crowd goes wild. And I was like, okay, I keep thinking the bar can't be set any lower, but these people are literally excited that Trump can drink water from a glass. I'm done. Stella, you're done. Oh, because he said the thing about stop testing. See, he has been basically saying that for a long time, that he was upset that the more you test, the more cases are detected, and he thinks that makes him look bad. At the Tulsa rally, he directly said that he told people to test less because he didn't want new cases to show up. Oh, Invisible Chicken. God, you're going gun rights in the US too. Okay, can of worms, my friend. I hope that... wow, you've just got so much material to go through there, which would be the slightly daunting side of it, I guess. But yeah, go you. Luke, your ex told you to stop snoring when you wasn't even asleep. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to tell some very funny relationship stories. These are from a long time ago. Okay, guys are gross, right? My family has to put up with when I burp. I like to do a big burp and try to sing a line from a song or say a sentence as I burp. And they've just learned to live with this, and guys seem to be, really proud of farts and whatnot. And the girls are always telling the guys, you're gross. Why are you so gross? And I remember a friend telling me years ago, his girlfriend had decided, and okay, with me, it's true, all guys piss in the shower. And she told him not to because it's disgusting. And he said, okay, I won't. But then he said she would, when he was in the shower, she would randomly sort of burst into the bathroom to try and catch him pissing in the shower. And I just thought, yeah, dude, your relationship is not going to last. And it didn't. But mind you, I remember an old girlfriend of mine, like I said, guys farting all the time, and a girl saying, that's gross. I was actually sitting on the toilet once, taking a crap, and I farted, and she's in the next room, and she goes, ew. I was like, I'm on the fucking toilet, okay? You are not allowed to hassle me for farting when I'm on the toilet, okay? That's just, all bets are off if you're going to fucking hassle me for farting when I'm on the toilet. You've got to be able to fart. And I will totally cop to me doing the blokey bloke stuff with burps and farts. Absolutely, that happens. But hassling me while I'm on the toilet, that's going too far. Nintendo Lunchbox, your birthday was yesterday for the solstice. So you're on the other side, of course. So each day is getting shorter for you from here on out. Yes, I like the pagan rituals, being glass half full at both solstices. On the summer solstice, celebrating that you've had the longest day, and that's a great thing and whatnot. And in the winter solstice, celebrating that the longest night is behind you So yeah. David should have shouted, "Get a whiff of that." See, that's the sort of thing that guys get in trouble for. But yes, it's weird to be hassled about something that, it's not really kosher to hassle you about. Relationships, eh? Oh. It's just like, okay, I've got a good one now, so I'm not going to rag on relationships very much. But people, right? People are weird. So I've got a few friends who are poly, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, trying to balance multiple people. Jesus, two people. And this is not from a puritanical point of view. It's just like, oh my God, you're trying to balance multiple people and everyone's conflicting moods, wants, desires, needs. Oh, Jesus. That's a bit much for me. Stella, you had too much male influence as a child. As a toddler, you'd try to have burping competitions with the uncle. That's a thing uncles do. That is a thing uncles will do to children of all genders. Yes, it's some dads and all uncles will do that. That's my bold call. Yep, it's the mysterious stranger coming into the room. Okay. See, Annette, you agree with me. That's why I couldn't do poly. It's too complex. There was a joke, I'm not sure how many people know this, but famous Australian actor Jack Thompson cohabited with two wives, not in the legal sense, but that's how they regarded each other, as husband and wife, for a long time. He had successfully cohabited with two wives for quite a while. And there was one interview, and Jack Thompson was such an Aussie bloke. And in one interview I saw with him, the interviewer was talking about his lifestyle and, how do other people read it? He goes, I'll be with the lads and I'll be like, two wives, Jack, eh? Whoa, eh? Two wives. Whoa, that must be good. And he said, you say that, but, you know what happens those times when you go out with the boys and you have a few too much drinks and you come home too late and you really cop shit for that? And they go, yeah. He goes, well, I get that twice. So, Yeah, Annette, I think Jack's wives were sisters. I'm not sure. Oh, God. Stella, yes, that brings back childhood in. A kill move when wrestling with siblings is to fart on their head. Okay, now I feel compelled to look up the Jack Thompson thing. Wives. Bunky King. Oh, yes, that was one of his wives. Okay, so Jack Thompson. Personal life. That's what we want to see. Married Beverly Hackett in 1963. Had a 5-year marriage. Entered into a 15-year polyamorous relationship with both Leona King. Yeah, sisters, Leona King and Bunky King. And he stayed with Leona following the birth of his second son. There you go. So, yes, his polyamorous relationship with sisters, which has just got to be so much more difficult, lasted 15 years. Ooh, that's an interesting one, Invisible Chicken. Is there a movie, the guy who created Wonder Woman and his two lovers? There you go. That's something I didn't know. Luke, what cocktails tonight? I don't know. I'll take it fairly easy tonight. I might try it because I do actually have the two milk clarified ones I made last night are in the fridge. finished the filtering clarification process, but I haven't actually tasted them. So I might taste them. You know what? I should plan. I've got one video in the can, as the professionals say. But I want to make at least one more this week. Got to decide what to make another cocktail of this week. So see what Diffords are doing for later in the week. Quebec National Day in Montreal. And there is a Quebec cocktail. What's that? Canadian whiskey. Fuck that. I don't know that. Dubonnet. Also, the anniversary of the Battle of Bannockburn. The second and decisive day of the Battle of Bannockburn happened this day in 1314. That's later in the week. That's the battle at the end of Braveheart, in case you didn't know, where Robert the Bruce leads Scottish people to independence. Scots defeated an English army almost 3 times its size. They recommend a Flying Scotsman. What's in that? Scotch and vermouth and sugar. That's just a Scotch Manhattan. Or an old-fashioned with vermouth, depending which way you want to push it. It's just an old-fashioned with vermouth. Which is not to say it would be a bad drink, just saying. Steve, hello, sir. How are you? Okay, so the movie Invisible Chicken is called Dr. Marston and the Wonder Women. I will... Oh, okay, Steve, you did see that one and you thought it was good. Okay, cool. And Kirsten, hello and good evening to you. Oh, apparently it's the anniversary of the Roswell Report's publication, published in 1997. That's coming up this week. Well, I've got my Alien Head vodka. Yeah, it's a vodka-based drink. Maybe I could do a Roswell cocktail. Steep Flight is Calvados. Well, I've got Applejack. Calvados is just French apple brandy. Pairing cognac liqueur. Well, I don't. Okay, no, I don't. Actually, that also sounds like a boring drink. Created in 2005 by Mr. Difford himself. No, that doesn't actually appeal to me. Trying to come up with something for later in the week. So didn't George of the Jungle have 2 wives? Quite possibly. Or do you actually mean Brendan, what's his name? Yes, Kirsten, that's actually what I'm talking about, cocktails. And I've got a plan for later in the week. I want to make some more later in the week. Visible Chicken. Marston, the Wonder Woman creator, was so pro-women, he thought women should have more power than men. I think, I'm not, and this is not said with judgment, when I see some of the early Wonder Woman stuff with whips and chains and slaves more, I think Marston was a sub, quite honestly. I think he liked the idea of being dominated by women. Again, not king-shaming, just speculating. Oh, that's interesting, Steve. One of the women involved has disputed a lot of the film's content. Yeah, that's a thing that happens. Things are... Well, everyone has their own view of things quite often. What's a fish house punch? Catfish Day, okay. John Christie's death sentence. It's really weird when they do stuff around death. I don't like stuff around death. 26th. I'm just looking for anniversaries that inspire me. The invention of the toothbrush in 1498. Wowzers. It says that invented by Ming Dynasty Emperor Hongzhi. So I'm going to take a wild guess. It wasn't the emperor who invented it. It was someone in his court. And then the emperor declared that he'd invented it. Ooh, it's the first use of a barcode on a product in 1974. Oh, see, here's the sort of story I like. Violette Szabo, she's a World War II agent, born to a French mother and an English father, went to school in London, married a French officer who was killed in the Battle of El Alamein, and that motivated is not really that hard a word to say, motivated her to become an Allied spy. She parachuted into Allied France, led French resistance network. On her second mission, German troops identified her. She fought bravely but was captured. Despite weeks of intensive torture and interrogation, Violette did not give away her comrades. They've got a drink they call a Violet Affinity. Creme de Violette, vermouth dry and vermouth sweet. That's pretty simple. Quite low alcohol content. As Avel. Oh, toothpaste to a cocktail, Luke. Ooh. Okay, Stella, you are saying it was the cartoon. I do not remember the cartoon, George of the Jungle, so I cannot speak as to how many wives George of the Jungle may have had. Oh, God, no, it's Pineapple Day this week. I knew there was something I spotted. So the 27th is Pineapple Day. And that's Saturday. Okay, yeah. So I've got to do some pineapple drinks for the weekend. And they actually have some good pineapple cocktails on this site. See what sounds good in here. A brandy fix, cognac, pineapple, lemon juice, sugar syrup, and yellow chartreuse. Well, see, I could Oz that up and get my new Australian brandy and Ochre Gold instead of yellow chartreuse. Pineapple, lemon, sugar syrup. That actually sounds pretty good. I could do that. How much is it? 2 shots of the brandy. Half a shot of pineapple juice, half a shot lemon juice, quarter shot sugarcane, 1/6. What is with these wussy amounts of yellow chartreuse? I'm going to do 1/6 of a shot. Do at least half of a shot. You really want to know you're drinking it. Annette, you love pineapple? Well, you get to celebrate. It's Pineapple Day this coming Saturday. This one, a club cocktail, another cognac one. Cognac, maraschino, pineapple juice, and Peychaud's aromatic bitters. El Presidente, rum, pineapple, lime, and pomegranate. We'll actually have to make some more pomegranate syrup, aka grenadine, because I used up the last of my grenadine this weekend, and I've actually got, I'll bring it out to remind myself, I got some pomegranate juice specifically for that purpose, to make some more grenadine. I might make a really small batch, only about 100 mils, because then I'll use it up before it goes weird, and I can just make up some more after that. But I might have that ut there. Oh, yes, Kirsten, I did get the 23rd Street. When I was out and about, I found a Dan Murphy's that had it. And I did brandy tastings on last night's stream because I've got a few brandies. There's a French brandy, cognac, and Armagnac. So 3 French brandies, basically, and an apple brandy, American Applejack. And I did a side-by-side comparison. And I honestly, of all of them, preferred the 23rd Street, not Yananas. So, yeah. Oh, that thing. Okay, that's a fun one. Invisible chicken. Another fun thing about Trump's Tulsa rally is just radically smaller numbers than they were expecting. Like they expected to fill the stadium, which you had. He's always had just like mad crowds come to his rallies, and he'd even planned for the first time to do a direct address to an overflow crowd in the car park. But there was no overflow crowd. And in fact, the inside the stadium was barely half full, which actually really surprised me that Trump supporters were that smart, that they realized this is a real bad idea. Going to this thing, this is a bad idea. The chance of getting the bad infection, far too high. And I was really surprised that he'd go. So what happened? The TikTok kids and the K-pop stans had this thing of booking, because it was a free event and you could book tickets. And so hundreds of thousands of people faked, like actually possibly as many as 900,000 people fake booked tickets to the rally. So they're going, oh, look at this, it's going to be so many people. And then there was about, I don't know, I think it's about 10,000 people there. But I do think it's important to be really clear on it. That little stunt just made them look silly because how much they overestimated the number of people that was going to be there. The small crowd turnout was not because of all the fake ticket bookings, because reserving a ticket, like there was no limit on reserving the tickets. So even though there was up to 1 million fake reservations, that didn't stop anyone from showing up. The reason people didn't show up is because they're slightly smarter than I gave them credit for, and they realized it was a bad idea. And but it did make the Trump campaign look very silly because they're going, oh, 800,000, 900. No, it's people trolling you, dude. Ooh, Luke making a grilled cheese. Classy. What did I have tonight? I had sausages. I was really just going for it tonight with the sausages. Kirsten, you were doing Instagram lessons. What were you learning in Instagram lessons? I'm intrigued. I'm definitely making some pineapple cocktails later in the week. Maybe I should just make some pineapple cocktails, test run them, and see which one I like the most. A French daiquiri is rum and raspberry liqueur and lime juice and pineapple juice and daiquiri bitters. Okay, I don't really have that. A Goombay smash, navy rum, triple sec, coconut rum, pineapple juice on it. Oh, Jesus. That sounds pretty good. And I could use Aussie components again. Tiny Bear, navy rum, and Marionette orange curacao. So much it. 2 shots of navy rum. Ooh, half a shot of triple sec, 3/4 a shot coconut rum, 3 shots of pineapple juice. That is a lot of pineapple juice. And a 1/4 shot of lime juice. That is very pineapple. And because you shake that with the pineapple juice, it's going to be nice and foamy. Might make that. That's very pineapple-y. Got a real kick too with 2 shots of navy strength in it. And also a Mary Pickford is rum, pineapple, pomegranate syrup, and maraschino. When made correctly, this pale pink cocktail has a perfect balance between the fruit flavors and the spirit of the rum. What are the actual volumes of that? 2 shots. And they say a white or gold 1 to 3 year old mellow light rum. 1.5 shots of pineapple juice. 1/6 of tiny amounts. 1/6 of a shot of maraschino and 1/6 of a shot of grenadine. So the maraschino and grenadine are barely there. It's mostly rum and pineapple. Dating back to the 1920s. Prohibition cocktail. A missionary's downfall. Rum, peach liqueur, lime juice, pineapple juice. Painkiller. Navy rum, pineapple juice, orange juice, and cream of coconut. I make my own cream of coconut, actually. I've seen a few recipes for make your own cream of coconut, which is really just coconut milk and sugar. Is cheaper than paying for one of the brands of cream of coconut. So what's that one? Navy rum again. 3 shots of pineapple juice, 3/4 of a shot of orange juice, half a shot of cream of coconut. Ooh, Painkiller is a bit of a classic, really. So, Kirsten, in your Instagram lesson, you're learning bottle flat lays and styling. Nice. Got to lift your Insta game. Yes, there are all sorts of little tricks you can do. But I found one or two or three or four or five or six cocktail Instagram channels that go to enormous lengths with doing their shots of cocktails. Some of them are incredibly elaborate. Pineapple mint caipirinha. So caipirinha is usually just cachaça. You get some lime, chop up a lime, muddle it a bit, put caster sugar on it, and then just pour cachaça on it, which is it's related to rum. That's a Brazilian drink that's related to rum. It's technically not a rum, but is very similar. Made from sugarcane juice rather than molasses. It's interesting adding pineapple to a cachaça or a pineapple daiquiri. I love this recipe. This pineapple daiquiri has pineapple rum, pineapple juice, lime juice, pineapple liqueur, sugar syrup. So it's got pineapple, and pineapple. Or a pineapple martini. Vodka, pineapple juice, lime juice, pineapple liqueur. It's pretty cheeky calling that a martini. It's like a tiki martini. Vodka, pineapple juice, lime juice, pineapple liqueur, sugar syrup, tiki bitters. A lot of daiquiri going on in this vodka-based cocktail. A pine cone has pisco. God, you don't see mead very often in a recipe. Pisco, which is Peruvian brandy, mead, pineapple juice, vanilla liqueur, and pine liqueur. Or a pisco punch. Pisco, pineapple juice, orange juice, lemon juice, sugar syrup, and champagne. Pyramid punch. I've made that one. Pisco and elderflower liqueur and pineapple and pink grapefruit. Rhine wine cobbler. Pineapple, Riesling wine, orange juice, and sugar syrup. Ooh, that's actually just a wine cocktail. A salty bird. That is questionable. No. Rum, Campari, pineapple juice, lime juice, and sugar syrup. So again, I could do an Aussie variation, use Okar Amaro rather than Campari. How much do they say to put in? 3/4 of a shot. Yeah, I'm not going to put that much in. I don't like bitter that much. Bit wussy with the bitter, quite honestly. I have to admit to being a bit reticent. Sherry cobbler, that's a famous one. A Susie cocktail, pisco, gentian liqueur, pineapple juice, white wine, and sugar syrup. Very pisco and could use. Ooh, that was interesting. Oh. website crapped out on that. That's interesting. An ultimate palabra, mezcal and green chartreuse and maraschino and pineapple juice and lime juice. Ooh, man, I'd actually like to make that as a milk clarified drink because I've recently discovered that I really like both mezcal and green chartreuse in milk clarified cocktails. Like the green chartreuse one I had on the weekend was fucking awesome. Got to try a bit more of that. A USB, one for the nerds, cognac, white wine, pineapple syrup. I don't know, whenever I see wine or champagne, I'm just like, yeah, don't want that. A very French martini, cognac, raspberry liqueur, and pineapple juice. And they've got the excuse like calling it very French martinis. Okay, France is not known for its pineapples, but I said very, not totally French. And yes, I know it's not really a martini. Well, it knows it's not really a martini. Ooh, this is an interesting sounding one. When the smoke cleared, mezcal red aperitivo cordial. So not red aperitivo, but a red aperitivo. Oh no, that is saying that. It's Aperol. Okay. Moon and ginger syrup, lime and pineapple. Ooh. All right. Well, I've got some hot possibilities for Pineapple Day. Should I taste test some of them? Give it a test run. It's in a Goombay Smash Navy Rum. I don't actually have that much of the Navy Rum left. I probably can't afford to do a test run. Painkiller. I can't see the cocktail name Painkiller without thinking of that song by who was it by? No, not Rule. Jesus. The drum and bass. No, Judas Priest had one called Painkiller. I don't hate Rule, but I don't really. I like seeing young artists doing well. Searching for a painkiller. It was drum and bass. Drum and bass. Pendulum. That's who it was. Pendulum from South Australia, if I remember rightly. So that's the painkiller I know. Whenever I see the drink name Painkiller, I hear that Pendulum track. Reaching for a painkiller. Goombay Smash sounds interesting. Navy rum, triple sec, coconut rum, pineapple juice and lime juice, and lots of pineapple juice. Very fitting for Pineapple Day. The Goombay Smash is a specialty of Miss Emily's Blue Bee Bar in the Bahamas. Mrs. Emily Cooper is now deceased, but her daughter Violet Smith presides over the recipe. I like the alliteration of that. The Blue Bee Bar in the Bahamas. Bahamas Blue Bee Bar. I like both alliteration and puns. I also often try to do wordplay with acronyms. I quite like doing really labored acronyms. So, yes, I like that level of alliteration. The Bahamas Blue Bee Bar. I reckon I'll do that because that's very pineapple. 3 shots of pineapple. And it's very boozy. 2 shots of Navy rum. And I get to showcase the Aussie content again. I use the Aussie Navy rum and the Aussie Curacao. So that seems like a good deal. And this one sounds really like unusual the Ultima Palabra, mezcal, green chartreuse, maraschino, pineapple juice, lime juice. Oh, just my initial. I'm getting weirdly obsessed with milk punch because my initial impulse is, ooh, I have got to make a milk punch out of that. Because, yeah, just in the last week, having made one that had mezcal in it and another one that had green chartreuse, and they were both really good. So I'm like, hey, mezcal and green chartreuse, that's got to be good, right? Maybe. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll make the cocktail and taste it before I actually milk clarify. Yeah, then I get the best of both worlds. Yes. Oh, see, I'm always thinking. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll do a test run. And if I like it, I'll do it. Yes. Kirsten, Sailor is a gin. The one I'm going to use. I'm going to have to defer to your advice when I run out of all my little sample bottles. I know you'll say don't limit yourself to one gin. So maybe I need your advice on which 2 Australian gins to get full-size bottles of. Because I don't know how long all these sample bottles are going to last because they're only 200 mils. Probably a while, actually. But who knows? I might run out of the Navy gin. I'd have to get some more Navy. Because, yeah, I do agree that a Navy strength martini, it's pretty good. There's just a twist of lemon in there. Maybe I'll try it dirty as well. Except I don't really like olives, but I'm not averse to something being a bit salty. Be a salty sailor. Did I say the sailor was a rum? Okay. No, I have Beanley rum. So I was confused. What was in that Pepsi? Lemon juice. That was literally all that was in it. Not even joking. Okay, but I'm going to try and make this cocktail. The Ultima Palabra. It's a riff on the last word, named after the direct Spanish translation of last word. Hence the use of mezcal in place of gin. Pineapple juice, another distinguishing feature of this riff on the classic, works brilliantly, adding fruity sweetness and complexity. Created by Simone De Luca at the High Road House Club in Chiswick, London, England. And apparently the recipe comes from Gaz Regan, he's probably the most famous bartender in the world. I don't know. He's famous, though. Oh, gee, Kirsten, I'm asking you to choose your favorite children. Give me a top 10. I don't know. Right, I'm going to try and make this one. The Ultima Palabra. An Espanol last word. There are so many riffs on the last word. This is un shaken cocktail. Yeah, I'll shake it. Shake the booty. Oh, I need to get my mixing glass as well, though, if I'm going to... yes, I want that to do the milk clarified. Got to get my mixing glass. Mixing glass. All right. And, oh, okay. Someone's been doing stuff that I don't approve of. That's okay. That's okay. Someone attempts to be helpful. Don't criticize them. Even if they do it wrong. All right. Put that out there. Put that in there. Yeah, I do want to chill it, actually. Just so I get a proper taste of it. Don't think I've got any glasses in the freezer. Nope. Put one big chunk in my shaker. A big chunk in my shaker. Right. And maybe a couple smaller pieces as well. Look at this. Just 2 small pieces. Right. I'm going to want the other thing with the milk in it. Okay. Where's that? Did I not wash it? No, I didn't. It's just here. Just a sec. Let me be off camera for a minute. Just have to clean something. Hello. Joy of working from the kitchen. Dry this a little bit. All right. Got my pieces. Okay. Get this glass out of the way. Put it here for now. Make a bit of room. Okay, don't need you. Go back there. Though I do need to use you soon. So I want mezcal, chartreuse, and maraschino. So I think they're all on this card, actually. They all live together. Mezcal and maraschino. By sheer coincidence, they all live on the same drink cart. All right. And I want pineapple juice and lime juice. Pineapple. That's interesting. Lime juice. Where's lime juice? That's lime juice. I should label things. Forget what I put in what. Oh. Okay. Getting myself organized. Whew. Oh, okay. Kirsten doesn't do international liquor. Can't comment. Wild Turkey is an El Cheapo Bourbon. I don't think you get. I don't. Yeah, I shouldn't speak. Actually, Luke, if you like whiskeys at all, there is a fun YouTube channel called Whiskey Tribe. Those guys explore all sorts of whiskeys. Oh, Kirsten, okay, you got to do me a top 10 gins, so I can make a decision. Oh wait, I don't have my jigger. Bloody hell. Okay, come here, jigger. Get jiggy with it. I bet bartenders love it if you say that to them when they start to measure something and they get their jigger out. If you ask them if they're getting jiggy with it, I bet they don't hate that. I bet they won't spit in your drink if you say that to them. They won't spit in your drink. Bartenders don't spit in your drink. It's just a little joke I have about saying annoying things. You'd be lucky if they didn't spit in your drink, basically. How much pineapple juice? Okay, 2 shots. I think there is that much in here. So, making enough. Make a big drink. Just doing 2 shots of everything. It's only supposed to be 3/4 of a shot of everything, but I'm not clarifying it anyway. Dun, 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 dun. Doesn't this bottle look so 70s? This, to me, that just says 70s, tacky. This is like the sort of thing a sophisticated Australian household would have had in the 70s. God damn. The 70s were an ugly time. And green chartreuse. Green chartreuse is a nice, elegant, simple bottle. Right, green chartreuse. Put that in there. This will be a slightly green drink because the most strongly colored things are the green chartreuse and the pineapple juice. Right, 3/4 of pineapple juice. Oh, yep, there was. I wasn't sure if I'd had enough pineapple juice left in that can. That's as fresh as it gets with me, a can. This was actually squozened myself. Some lime juice. Yep, almost out of... Oh, no, still a fair bit of lime juice there. Get some more limes this week, maybe. Okay. Plenty of acid content in there. Right, so I'm going to shake it and give it a taste. And then, I need to add some milk. So how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to use about 3 ounces of milk. Right, I need to get my milk ready as well. Ooh, down to the last bottle of milk. I'm going to have to go to the supermarket. Brave all the disease in Melbourne. You get milk. Done. Okay. I'm going to shake this cocktail and decide if I want to make a video of it later this week based on how it tastes. Invisible chicken. Are you going to ask about vodka? Yeah, vodka's all over. I don't know. Kind of think vodka's not meant to taste like anything. If someone's going to strictly meet the definition of vodka, it shouldn't taste like anything. Get that pineapple juice all shook up. Chill the drink. Like a friendly Spider-Man. I'll do a really gauche thing and sip out of my shaker. Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh. Wow, there's a lot going on in that. Let's see. Whew. Oh, there's a lot going on with that. Where's the bitter coming from? I feel like the last taste, be the lime juice. First taste that comes through is the smoke from the mezcal, which is fairly dominant taste. I'm not even really getting the herbal stuff from the chartreuse. I think you get a little bit from the maraschino, a little fruitiness from the maraschino. And then getting a bit of sharpness from the lime juice on the end. Ooh, this is another white one. Just because there's no strong colors, so in the milk it's just barely off white. That was like the other chartreuse one I made. When I clarified it, it was almost completely clear. Looked very cool. How you feeling, Sila? How you doing? Catherine, vodka burns when you have a straight. Most spirits have a fairly decent burn if you drink them straight. Some vodkas are a lot smoother than others, though. Like the Crystal Head vodka, the one in the Skull decanter, that's fairly easy to drink. Actually, even the Alien Head one I've got over there is fairly easy to drink, not a massive burn when you sip it. I just need a spoon to stir this. Just make sure it's all... Oh, yeah, no, that's definitely all activated and curdling. No drama there. Be another fun drink. All right, so I'm only having a sip of that one, and then it's the thing. Oh, I feel like I do want to have one of my... Yeah, I'm going to have a drink. I got a pre-mixed one in the fridge. Still a little bit of pineapple to go in there. Let's put that in the drink tomorrow. Which one will... Okay, this one I'm more interested in. This is like a rum-based one that I made a cocktail of last week, and I just thought it would be a good drink. Clarified. Trying to remember what it's called. Oh, that's interesting, Kirsten. The burn is from the head cut being made too early, tail end of methanol being left in the product. Catherine, you just get Smirnoff. Yeah, Smirnoff is going to burn. Smirnoff's a little bit rougher when you drink it. But stuff like, I suppose it is slightly more expensive, or maybe much more expensive. But I wanted the bottle, so I bought the Crystal Head. No, I think Crystal Head is much more expensive than Smirnoff, actually. But I was surprised at how easy drinking the Crystal Head was. And the Space Alien one is too. Yes. The bill's being paid. Go away, Telstra. You suck. Okay, I need to look up my cocktail menu. Because I made the menu for date night. Because I'm romantic. Beneath Broken Earth. All right, so this is rum, blood orange liqueur, and Muir, an Australian blackberry liqueur. Oh, and grenadine. So it had a few red colours in it from the Muir and the grenadine. So it clarified a little bit dark. It's very amber as opposed to some others that are quite yellow. Did you ever sip of this? But I haven't had a proper drink of this. So I'm interested because I thought it made a good cocktail. Because I have to, Mrs. Angry has gets heartburn from citrus, acidic things. So I have to explore cocktails that don't have citrus in them. And this is one. It looks really nice in the glass. It's very nice in the glass. That's what I love about clarified cocktails. Even, yeah, they're a bit coloured, but they're crystal clear. They're not cloudy at all. No. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's still got all the flavors going on. Whew. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I knew that would work, milk clarified. Still got all the flavors going on. It's calmed the rum down a bit, but it's still very clearly a rum drink. But it lets the fruitiness come through a bit more. And it's so in terms of fruit, that's got blackberry liqueur and blood orange liqueur, and it's got pomegranate syrup in it. So there's a lot of fruit flavors in there. And it's got the Queensland rum from Beanley. That is, I thought this would be really good clarified, and it really is. Whew. Yep. That's another winner. Luke, yes, when you're on a budget, man, you got to get the booze. And Smirnoff's not terrible. Smirnoff is not terrible. There are far worse vodkas you can buy than Smirnoff. I remember buying a really cheap vodka once because I thought, well, you can't taste vodka anyway when you mix it, can you? Even mixed, this vodka tasted like fucking paint stripper. Oh my God, it was bad. It was so bad. And it was a lesson. It was like, oh, okay, there is such a thing as too cheap. Good to know. I think it was an Australian vodka. I think it was a really cheap, nasty Australian vodka. This was a long time ago. This was like 20 years ago. Let's just say I was probably having a bad time at that point in my life. And I might have been calling it a vodka sleeping tablet at that point. Yes, to be able to get to sleep and not think of things too much, which is not healthy at all. Not even a little bit. And thankfully, that was only for a very limited time in my life. But yes, it's certainly possible to go far too cheap. Yes, and that's where Goon comes in on the wine front. I don't drink wine at all, so I never drank Goon either. I do remember this was like in they were townhouses more than flats, I guess, but like a little complex of townhouses, and one of my neighbors in the recycling would be like 2 cases of beer bottles in the recycling every single week, and I thought, okay, everyone drinks sometimes, but to consistently drink in that volume is not great. Catherine, what brand? I do not remember, and I don't think it's a brand that's still around. I think it was just something that was, like in a Woolworth bottle shop, and it was really cheap, and it was fucking terrible. Stella, is there a Boris Yeltsin vodka? That wouldn't surprise me at all. Oh, that's perfect. You once got a complete wine snob wanker totally pissed on supermarket box wine. They were so hungover the next day, begged you not to tell anyone. Don't tell anyone their dirty, dirty secret that they got drunk on the Goon. The Goon got them. You know what I wish? I wish there was an easy way to tell alcohol content of a drink. Like, the equivalent of litmus paper. You dip into a drink and it changes color, and you have like a color matching chart, and you're going, oh, if the color's here, it's less than 10% alcohol. And if it's in here, it's 10 to 20%, and here it's 20 to 30. And, just to be able to really quickly tell the alcohol content of a drink, I think there would be that would be a very good invention. And I'm sure someone who knows chemistry will explain why that's a million times more complex than I've made it sound, because it doesn't exist. So it must be complicated, bordering on impossible. Because I know in the trade, there's not a simple way to measure alcohol. It's quite involved. Okay, Stella, the Boris Yeltsin vodka is paint stripper. Okay, that kind of fits in with Boris Yeltsin, really. Luke, Fruity Lexia is a great box wine. Yes, that goes right back to my teenage years there. Hello, Anonymous. Catherine, wouldn't it depend on... No. Okay, Catherine, I mean alcohol by volume. Like, obviously, you go, okay, I've got a shot of vodka, 40% alcohol, whereas, if there was an equivalent amount of wine that's less than 10% alcohol, you go, oh, there you go. It's much more alcohol to drink the shot of vodka than the shot of wine. But if you drink a whole bottle of wine, it's more. No, I mean being able to know the alcohol by volume. It's like, this glass is holding that much liquid with an average alcohol by volume of whatevs. I would really like to be able to quickly tell that. Because then you can eyeball it and go, okay, volume-wise, at that percent, it's this many standard drinks, and that would be very handy. Also, super handy in pubs with creepy guys who buy doubles or triples for girls at bars to try and get them drunk to rape them. Just being able to dip in your drink and instantly know that that's dodgy AF. Yes, that's what I think, Kirsten. Yeah, okay. There's a $6,000 device to measure alcohol by volume called the Anton Par. I knew there was some really complex thing, and it's got to do with how much it floats in the thing or whatever. There is no easy way to tell alcohol by volume. Anonymous. And you can always have my opinion on something. Sounds creepy coming from an anonymous user. I mainly spend most of the time in Reddit and Twitter. That's cool. Oh, I'm never shy about sharing my opinion on anything. Yes, the official industry ways to measure alcohol by volume are expensive and a little bit complicated. I'm just wishing for a thing that absolutely doesn't exist, something that you can really easily, just like I said, like litmus paper, dip in a drink and it goes a color that would give you at least an indication of the alcohol by volume in a drink. And again, like Catherine, like what you were saying about the amount of the volume of the alcohol. So, for instance, okay, so creepy guy says to the girl, "Hey, can I get you a drink?" And it's like, yeah, okay, vodka and orange. Okay, now vodka and orange should be, depending on the volume, you know, if it's a glass this big, the alcohol by volume, you know, should be under 20%. If it's in a tall glass with ice, the alcohol by volume should be under 10%. But if the guy's gone nudge wink to the bartender and made it a double or a triple, the alcohol by volume is actually going to be, you know, 20% rather than under 10%, which is like an immediate indicator you shouldn't trust this person. I want it just for home stuff, because just out of interest, I'm just like, okay, so when I mix that up, because I'm really interested in, does the milk clarification process reduce the alcohol content? It's going to a little bit, because it's adding liquid, it's adding the whey from the milk. So, you know, it's just like adding water to the drink. So it is diluting it a little bit, but I don't know if anything in the filtration process absorbs alcohol. I don't know. It's just a thing I am interested in and would like to know. Anonymous, what do I think of the Joker film? Nothing related to chemistry and alcohol. I actually enjoyed the Joker film. There was a lot of weird advanced publicity with people who hadn't seen it saying this is definitely bad and is making incels the hero and whatnot. And the director of the film didn't help. The director of the film said some really fucking stupid things. Really stupid. But I enjoyed it. So I have to admit, I enjoyed the kill the rich message in it. It was very interesting because although it was the Joker and he meets Bruce Wayne, who, you know, before his parents get killed, it doesn't fit in with, you know, what we've come to see as the Batman universe. Certainly doesn't fit in with any of the films, because it's like it's taken the concept of the Joker and basically removed all the fantastical elements that you get out of a lot of the comics and movies, and just made it like, this is an incredibly troubled guy who acts very badly and has severe mental health problems. But yeah, they had me on board with the kill the rich message, quite honestly. So, and yeah, making Bruce Wayne's dad a complete dick is great, because he's supposed, you know, you get that. I've forgotten what Bruce Wayne's dad's name is, but you get that he's meant to be the small L liberal billionaire. You know, he's a philanthropist. He wants to help the downtrodden and all these things, and he's a prick. He's an absolute prick, and I like that. And I did like his line, not quite the end of the film, but it's kind of the climax of the film, on the talk show, talking to Murray about, what do you get? I want to get the exact quote, because I actually think it's quite good. I'll try and, it's pretty easy to find. I think everyone looks it up. Okay. It says, like, how about another joke, Murray? What do you get when you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash? I'll tell you what you get. You get what you fucking deserve. I just really like that quote. Yeah. In retrospect, it was very weird the number of, and because okay, I'm a raving loony lefty. People call me a social justice warrior all the time, and I'm fucking proud of the label. It's a really interesting cocktail. But I'm always wary about people who pass judgment on something they haven't seen or read or experienced or whatever. So I went and saw Joker, and I quite liked it. It wasn't pro incel like some people were making it sound. But Thomas Wayne, thank you, Invisible Chicken. That was Bruce Wayne's dad's name. It wasn't pro incel. Like I said, just this really blatant rich people are fucked, we should kill them. And that was all through the movie. That was not a little bit. It wasn't just Thomas Wayne. It's the yuppies who attack Joker on a train, and there's a horrible. It's like, well, you do not often see big Hollywood films with an explicit, repeated kill the rich message. It's like, fucking hell. And I do agree with some people who criticize the people who criticized it, saying like, oh, it's dangerous to make a bad character, like as in a bad person, like Joker, the protagonist of a movie. People could sympathize with him, and it's like, that is such a shit idea that protagonists have to be good. You know, it's entertainment, it's escapism. We all like the fantasy of being bad sometimes. And this whole idea that a bad protagonist has to get really explicit comeuppance, and there has to be a huge neon sign in the movie going, this person is bad, don't be like them, they'll get their comeuppance. You know, fuck that noise. The more problematic you make your protagonist, I think the more pressure there is on you to do the job really well. And I thought Joker was done fairly well. Oh yeah, Stella, people passing judgment on films they haven't seen. I remember from my youth the controversy around Bret Easton Ellis's book American Psycho, which at one stage was banned from sale in Australia, and then it was released with restriction, like you had to be over 18 to buy it, and it was wrapped in plastic in the bookshops. And I do remember working with a guy who's going like, oh, it's a disgusting book, I'd never read it. And I was going, how do you know it's a disgusting book if you haven't read it? And it's like, it's disgusting. And I went, what specifically are you outraged by the book? And it's like, oh, you just read that you should be outraged, so you're outraged. Look, I read it, and it's really shitty writing. It is really shitty writing. Although, honestly, the reason it was banned and restricted in Australia is because of the sexual violence in it. And there's some merit to that argument. It is broadly, the book American Psycho is broadly really quite shitty writing. It's not good. He tries to communicate to you that Patrick Bateman is, while a serial killer, also banal and boring by writing in a boring, banal way. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Make your the character's meant to be that, not your fucking writing. Make your writing good and engaging. But yeah, I think American Psycho is basically quite ordinary writing. You're not missing anything by not reading it. Although I kind of got the feeling, Bret Easton Ellis would have a bit of a future in porn if he just wanted to write porn, because he really got into the sex scenes in it, I think. So, but yeah, that was another one where people who hadn't read it, exposing, people saying like, no, that's terrible, never read it. Good night, Anonymous. Yeah, Stella, exploring the grey area of bad guys can make good storytelling, like George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones characters. Yes. So you think rich people saying they take responsibility is funny? Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, Annette. There is no doubt. There is really, really quite grotesque sexual violence in the book. No argument with that. So if someone's fully informed, this book has really grotesque sexual violence in it, and they go, "Well, I don't want to read that." That is a completely legitimate choice. But I'm not really fond of people posturing over stuff. Okay, now here's me being a hypocrite. Like, I'm never going to bother to read the Twilight books because I don't know, life's too short to invest that number of hours, or the 50 Shades of Grey books. I trust what some other people have said, and I'm going like, yeah, that's just trash to the point. I don't want to invest hours of my life. There are better ways to spend those hours on my life. Not particularly outraged by either of them. Just like, yeah, that kind of seems like garbage, and I don't want to waste time on my life. Oh gosh, feeling Sealer. Atlas Shrugged is very bad writing, definitely. Ayn Rand's writing is really quite shitty. It's like use and in and of itself, that wouldn't be a problem. Okay, Ayn Rand is a shitty writer, so but you get these people in positions of power who go, "Yes, this has inspired me." And it's like it's badly written fiction that makes no sense, and you're using that as the linchpin for your political ideology. What the fuck? Like this idea, central idea in one of her books, and it's Atlas Shrugged, I think, where the billionaires they're billionaires because they're geniuses, and they could wipe the world out just by withdrawing themselves from the world. Every single billionaire in the world could disappear overnight, and it would not fucking matter. It's an absolute myth that they're necessary in any way. I'm just playing with my little concoction here, the oleus sacrum, just making sure the lemon peel is under the sugar, slowly leaching it out. By the morning, so you still can't see it. Maybe if I go further away. By the morning, all that white sugar should be a syrup, hopefully. Usually I have to leave it like 12 to... Now I've got sugar all over my fingers. And I agree with you, Stella. Ayn Rand is a terrible person. Terrible person, also a complete fucking hypocrite. But yes, her writing is quite bad. She has characters do like 50-page monologues. I'm going to do a quick Google search. How long is the monologue in Atlas Shrugged? It's 60 pages. In Atlas Shrugged's, John Galt does a 60-page monologue. That's like the worst fucking writing imaginable. That's like a bad joke. Having your protagonist explain explicitly your premise in a monologue that goes for 60 pages. That's just a bad joke. That is like the worst writing imaginable. Oh, it's like show, don't tell, for fuck's sake. All right. I'm going to start the filtering on this little cocktail here. Need to get a funnel for that. There's a funnel just over here. That's what I want, funnel. Okay. I put the fun back in funneling. What? Catherine, how many chapters? It's within a chapter. It's like an unbroken 60-page speech by the protagonist. Just the absolute worst writing imaginable. Like, yeah, if you ever see a young man reading Atlas Shrugged, stay the fuck away from them. There's a small chance they're doing the thing, you know what? I'm going to read it just so I know, just so I'm not bagging it from a position of ignorance. But young men who read Atlas Shrugged, it's almost always a good idea to avoid them. Right, I just got to rinse this because there's a lot of residue in it. Don't come off. See if I care. All right. I'm going to... Now, that is going through really fast. I'm definitely going to put... Do you want the sounds like someone peeing ASMR? Oh, I slowed down just as I did that. Oh. I'm going to try my other milk clarified cocktail. Oh. This is the chocolate one, which is a funny thing to say when you see it's like yellow, but it's got quite a bit of brown creme de cacao in it. Just the filtering process removes all of the brown. And this has brandy in it as well. And some pineapple juice. I guess that's a list of... Okay, please send me, on a Facebook message or Twitter or something, a list of top 19 gins. Holy cow. Dear. Yep, Stella, you definitely, the annoying twats who have to tell you they're eating Ayn Rand, steer clear of them. Steer so clear of them. And yes, Fila and Seela, the beef between China and India is just another real piece of shit for 2020. Oh, I reckon I'm really going to get addicted to clarified cocktails with creme de cacao in it, because that's the second one I've made. Third, I think, actually. They taste really good. Second or third. Oh, yes, the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, was obsessed with Ayn Rand, which is really funny because Paul Ryan was a Christian and Ayn Rand thought Christians were stupid, which is very funny to idolize someone who thinks you're a moron. I find that more than a tad humorous. But I'm like that. I see humor in things. But yes, the number of Republicans in America who idolize Ayn Rand is quite terrifying, because she's such a bad writer. And she writes, wish fulfillment fiction that's absolutely nonsensical, like absolutely ridiculous. And then you get actual policymakers going, yes, because she's saying what they want to hear. And because it's written down and it's what they want to hear, they go, it must be right. She's a great writer. It's like, no, she's a fucking terrible writer. She's really bad. She's also a fucking hypocrite. Took welfare from the government. Oh, is that Mimsy wanting to come in again, or a bit of a breeze making the door knock? I'm never quite sure. Oh, I saw that, Luke, the map of Melbourne where the coronavirus hotspots are. I just think it's, on one level, it's funny. We're freaking out because of these outbreaks of 10 and 20 cases where, the US is still getting 700 to 1,000 deaths a day, and it's about to get way fucking worse. I think it's right that we're very cautious about it, and we want to have controls in place. But it's kind of funny by comparison So, yeah, the US has got 2.25 million cases confirmed, probably far more, as much as 10 times more actual infections than that. 120,000 deaths in the US. Brazil just cracked 1 million. And again, they're probably vastly... Okay, I don't see if that is Mimsy making the door make that noise. Is that you, Mimsy? It is. Well, come in and say hello to everyone. Come on, come up here and say hello to everyone. Knocking at the door, wanting to get in. Oh, now she's scouting out the floor to see if anyone's spilt any food. So, yes, Brazil's got 1 million confirmed cases and 50,000 deaths. Come on, come up here and say hello. There you go. Okay, I'll move the camera so you can be more with the people. Yes. Yes, Mimsy's come to say hello. Yes, yes. Ooh, she loves getting scratched on the cheeks and under the chin. Oh, yes, Annette. No, there was a map. I think ABC ran it. Melbourne COVID. Let's see. I think it was in the news. Yes. Okay. ABC. I will share it. Brimbank, Hume, Moreland, Darebin, Cardinia, and Casey. You're kind of saying don't travel to those suburbs. I saw that, Phil and Sealer. The cop got killed in New Zealand, which is a real rarity in New Zealand. People got a bit crazy in lockdown, and now they're out there. Oh, where are you going, Mimsy? Oh, she's come. She said hello. Oh, actually, speaking about the Rona, check out what came. This was in my mailbox. Okay, it's because it's white. It's gone off. Oh, no, there you can see it. Virus of mass destruction. It's some weird conspiracy theorist bullshit about weapons of mass destruction lies, now coronavirus lies, government conspiracy scam again, medical experts on virus and 5G banned. So this is one of the 5G lunatics. And then it says exosome, not virus, and lists 3 random doctor names as if that means anything. But my personal favorite thing about this, and there's a lot to love in it, notably, you probably can't see it, but there's a picture here of this old dude who I assume is behind it, and he's wearing a mask but with a hole cut out so you can see his face. The first name of the doctors who I assume he's saying medical doctors who say the Rona's not a virus. The first name is Dr. Andy Kaufman, who may or may not be a real doctor. But what's funny is Andy Kaufman is the name of an American comedian who was popular in the 70s, 80s. He died. He had cancer, died in the 80s. But he was famous for really elaborate pranks and for like never backing out of the prank, like always saying, no, it's not a prank, it's real. And he had a couple of characters. It was very weird. Like he was so much into pranks. A lot of his friends and family thought his cancer diagnosis was another prank. And a lot of people didn't think he was really dead. They thought it was another one of his pranks. So that's a guy who did a lot of pranks to have people thinking that. Oh God, now Mimsy's just on my lap. Just there she is. She's just out of camera. Wanting lots of attention. She's so sooky. Oh no, Annette. 2K. Don't put your tail in my drink, Mimsy, honestly. You were at the H&M store in Northland a week ago. Oh no. If you get a symptom, you'll have to get the test. I mean, we all have to get the test at some point, I guess. I'm not really in a rush to get it because I haven't been associating with humans very much. I forgot to say, I visited Aidsy in the hospital today, and and we had a good chat. He hasn't had a chance to talk to people, so he talked at me nonstop for a couple of hours. The hospital said I could only stay there 2 hours, and he was really pissed off about that. He said he's going to lodge a complaint. I was like, well, good luck, buddy. It's the Rona. That's why they're doing it. Now come up here. Everyone thinks you're cute when you get head scratches. I've got to scratch you out of camera shot. No one's getting the value out of that. Anyway, yes, so I hung out with Aidsy for a couple of hours, got him one of those combined case stands for his iPad so it doesn't get smashed. And also, so next time he's able to come on a live stream, he should be more stable, like with his stand. So he shouldn't have the problem that he had the other night of dropping the stand a lot. He says he doesn't sleep. That's the reason he does the thing with not sleeping, because his anxiety. He has really bad dreams, as in night terrors, wake up screaming, and he wants the hospital to give him more anti-anxiety meds, like Valium, and the hospital doesn't want to give him any drugs, which he objects to quite a lot. But yes, he might get through it, but he's not in the best mood at the moment. But I had a really good time hanging out with him for a couple of hours. They had all these rules, like the actual door to the hospital building was locked. Someone had to come and open it. Then they did a temperature check, one of those things that point at your forehead. And I had to give them my details for contact tracing in case, someone got the Rona in there. And yeah. And yes, but they said, a patient can only have a maximum of 2 visitors in any one day, and they only have visiting hours in the afternoon, not in the morning. And yeah, they told me he could only stay for 2 hours. Aidsy was particularly unhappy about that. Said he was going to complain to management. And I don't think it's going to work, man. Stella, you went to the zombie shuffle years ago, dressed up in a lab coat, made a fake CSIRO virology department ID with the name Dr. Louis Pasteur. The amount of people who asked me if it was real, that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. I love it. Felix Taylor, tell Aidsy his advice for your blockage worked a charm. Also drinking prune juice daily. Nice. Good to hear. I think what Aidsy needs, he needs a mental health practitioner, a counselor or a psychologist or whatever, who does EMDR, or at least tapping, EFT, because he's suffering from PTSD. His biggest problem is PTSD, because his bad dreams aren't fictional bad dreams. They're reliving the worst experiences of his life. So he really seriously needs EMDR, because it's incredibly helpful for PTSD. So just Mimsy. Yes, I'm trying to milk Mimsy. Look, lift her up. There she is. Say over here. Over here. No, over here. No, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Look at the people. The people want to see you. You're such a worry, Mimsy. Oh my God, she's such a sook. It's like, no, if I stop scratching her, there she is, saying hello to the people. If I stop scratching her, she just rubs her head on my hand. Like, no, I want more scratches. You gonna do it again? Yeah. It's a bad habit of jumping in my lap when I'm doing online meetings for work. Oh, you're so much trouble, Mimsy, honestly. Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to do a video for my channel with a milk clarified cocktail with chocolate in it, because I was watching another channel, one of the bigger YouTube cocktail channels, making a cocktail with creme de cacao. And he said, like, he's found a lot of people, they buy some creme de cacao for, to make a drink, and then they never use it. It sits on the shelf for years. And he's saying, so here's another drink. So I thought, okay, if people need excuse me. It's just, it's absolutely the tits in a clarified cocktail. It tastes so good. Like this, I swear to God, this just tastes like chocolate. Oh, it really tastes good. And I don't remember what I put in. I think it was like brandy and creme de cacao and probably pineapple juice. I might have put lime juice in it too. But it's just chocolate. This just tastes like chocolate. It's fucking amazing. It's really good. So boss of the house actually came in. We without planning it, almost did a changing of the guard. At about the point I was going to leave, boss of the house showed up. So there was like a changing of the guard for AIDSy visitors, which was nice. And yeah, he's not stuck with the psycho neighbor. She got carted off by the police. PBR, late again. What have you been binging on? Mrs. America. Was it good? I haven't watched Mrs. America yet. I really enjoyed season 3 Westworld. Thought it was very good. Yeah, I've been thinking of watching Mrs. America, but I haven't even watched it yet. Australian actors in important roles, an Australian playing Gloria Steinem and, of course, Cate Blanchett in the actual lead role, Mrs. America. Always funny to me when Australians get cast in really pivotal roles in American movies. Yes, Stella, I believe she was like literally carted off. There was interventions. Luke, you think I might overdo it? Well, all things in moderation, my friend. All things in moderation. That's why I only half filled my glass instead of completely. Look, see, there's a fuck ton more in there. I got a drunk up. No, actually, would be pretty drunk if I drank all that. I should write shit down because I don't remember exactly how many shots of alcohol I put in that, but it was a few. So yeah. PBR, you got the Monty Python Lumberjack song because I've got my lumberjack going on. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. What are you doing, you silly cat? She wants to jump up on my lap again, but she can't quite make. Yeah, she goes. There she goes. She mimsy tail, mimsy tail, mimsy's little ears. Don't show your butt to the people. That is a cat stereotype and it's very rude. Very rude, Mimsy. Don't do it. So, yeah, I actually think in regards to the wild neighbor lady, she did get carted off. But I also think boss of the house is probably living at his parents' place while AIDSy's in hospital. He might be in their flat because that's more centrally located, but I suspect he might be living at his parents' place so he doesn't get too lonely. There you go. Now we've all got the lumberjack song stuck in our head. Oh my God, this cat is such a She wants me to go to bed because she sleeps next to me. Don't you? Because I indulge you. If you sleep on Mrs. Angry side, she chucks you off the bed. But you sleep on my side and I let you stay there. That's it. And PBR, Rose Byrne. Yes. Her name was escaping me, but it was very noticeable when the ads were on and go, oh, look, they've got an Australian playing Gloria Steinem and they've got an Australian in the lead. Always a bit of a laugh to me when that happens. Oh, yes, Vera Lynn. We were talking about that last week when the news broke that Vera Lynn had died. That's another one of those deaths when it shows up like, oh, Vera Lynn died today. And I'm going, really? Vera Lynn was alive until yesterday? I thought she died like 20 years ago. I was genuinely surprised to hear that Vera Lynn had just died last week because I assumed she'd, if you'd asked me, I would have thought she died 20 years ago. The 80s maybe, but no, she only died last week. Most famous for inspiring people during the Second World War, singing "We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when." But she didn't sing as well as me. She coped with her own meager talents. Didn't quite have what I have going for me. You know, Mimsy, you are so in the way. You are absolutely in the way. You're very cute, but you're in the way. Yes. All right. All right. So that's really cloudy. So I have to put it through a second time. Okay, don't drop it, you fucking clown. Mimsy, if you dig claws into me while I'm doing this and make me drop it, I will be super upset. Okay? I'm just telling you now. I'm put it back through a second time. All right. Oh god, I'm so paranoid I'm going to spill this. It's safely in place. Okay, so I've got a few precious drops of this one. See what it tastes like. Oh, that's good. It initially tasted sweet. There's a lot of pineapple juice in it. And then the smoke from the mezcal came in. Oh, I love drinks with character where you get multiple flavors going in. Oh, what are you doing, you silly cat? You are a silly cat, Mimsy. That's what I'm saying. So I'm looking forward to having a proper taste of this one too. I may well make that for my what do you call it? Pineapple Day. So I've got one. Actually, I still have to edit it. Which was another. I've got my almond milk clarified cocktail, which was very good with the mac in it. So the clarified version was very nutty. It was very good. And that's not tied to anything. I'll probably put that up on Tuesday or Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, something like that. But because Pineapple Day is at the end of the week, I definitely want to do some pineapple themed cocktails, and this Difford site does have some very good ones. So Pineapple Day is, I'm just double checking, the 27th is Saturday. Okay. So I'll probably put a Pineapple Day video up on Thursday. You know, get ready for the weekend. Have your pineapple drinks ready for the weekend. I'll give you some tips on that. So yes, in olden days, pineapple was after it was first discovered by seafarers and brought back to Europe. It was such a coveted rare fruit. There's a famous painting of King Charles II of England, him being painted in a portrait, receiving a pineapple as a gift. Symbolizes how fabulously wealthy he was that someone's just giving him a pineapple. So pineapples used to be a symbol of luxury. Certainly in Australia, they're not. Oh, everybody, the safe word is pineapple. Yes. Okay. PPR, you've been watching Karen videos? There are some friggin', Jesus, aren't there some Karen videos out there? Just weird. And they vary between, some of them are just slightly creepy. Some of them are weirdly obnoxious. I still think the worst one was that woman in the park who got upset at the black guy who said, you can't have your dog off the lead, because he was a bird watcher and the dog's running around scaring the birds. And he just said, you can't have your dog off the lead here. That's the rules. And she went wacko at him and she made a death threat. She said, like, leave me alone. I'm going to call the cops and tell them a black man is threatening me. And there's no mistaking her intention. Her intention was, you are at high risk of the cops killing you. That was a death threat. And that's not hyperbole. I'm not exaggerating. She was making a death threat to this guy. And just the fucking audacity of people doing it. Yeah, PBR, she should get fired from a job. She's a fucking piece of shit. Like I said, that was literally a death threat where she was completely in the wrong. Yeah, and that's the other thing, Stella. She nearly choked her dog with her ridiculous carrying on. The agency she adopted the dog through took the dog from her. Jesus. It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? It's all Trump's fault, actually. All Trump's fault. He emboldened all these fucking people to just act like that. He's a little cat. She's demanding attention all the time. So much attention being demanded by the Mimsy cat. Yes. Oh, you're such a sook, Mimsy. Like having a head scratched. Funny bloody cat. No, you are not allowed to climb on the kitchen bench. If you go up there, you're in trouble. I think she's just noticing my bowl that's got the lemon peel and sugar in it, the Oleosaccharum project, and you wouldn't like it. I know you think everything's for you, so you want to check it out. It'd be funny if she was purring into the microphone. Then she had a face right next to the microphone, but I don't think she's purring. Don't stick your bum up at me. Every time she does, that's actually how I get her to settle down on the bed, because she kind of paces back and forth. And then she does the cat thing of having a tail in the air. It's just like, don't point your butthole at me. And I like push her tail down. And most of the time that encourages her to actually lie down. And she fucking settles down and goes to sleep. I agree, Safa. People have absolutely become unhinged. Trump has told them, no, being racist is the right. You're in the right. You being racist is right. And this stuff that had been barely under the surface for years just bursts out in the most horrific. And it happens all the fucking time. And I know people of color will tell, poor ignorant me, like, oh, that shit's been there the whole time. And we're quite aware that for years it had been just under the surface. And now it's broken free. It's just fucking hell. PPR should do funny Mimsy videos. Oh, going way back when Shadow was new, I actually have a bunch. I think there's at least half a dozen videos I put on YouTube of Shadow being cute when she was a little kitten, because Mimsy was never a little kitten when we had her. She was definitely over a year old. She might have been 18 months or even 2 years old when we got her. So she wasn't fully grown, but she wasn't a kitten. And she'd actually had one litter of kittens before we got her. So, but Shadow was a little bitty kitten when we got her. So I do actually have a few videos of Shadow being cute. Yes. Oh yeah, Felix, the mysterious hangings have been like half a dozen in the last week or two. Black men found hanged from trees, and in every case, the police are going, no, we're not investigating. There's a suicide. What, was there a fucking ladder? Was there a ladder next to the tree? I mean, I think you need to explain to us how you think this happened. It's just like, and hey, it's not impossible. It isn't impossible that all of these deaths in a short time frame were suicides. I just, call me crazy given what's happening in America. I feel they warrant some really quite serious investigation, because it really speaks to lynchings. As Jesus. So, PBO, your current fave YouTuber, a golden retriever, Taco Buds. Look, that shows good taste for your favorite YouTuber to be a golden retriever. That just seems like good taste to me. Excellent choice of YouTube. Look at this one. This one looks like, although it was actually quite green, it looks like it's going to be, basically completely clear, which is cool. Going to be completely clear when the clarification filtration's over. That's cool. Suffer. What if the US collapsed? Trump will. Jesus Christ. I have ceased trying to predict anything because the world is fucked and weird and stupid, and bad, terrible things happen all the time. So I have ceased trying to predict anything because it's just all too fucked up. And I'm just going with a mindset Trump's going to win re-election because why the fuck not? Other impossible, terrible things happen all the time, and good things just don't happen. So, that's a bleak note to end on, but it is actually where I'm going to end because it is bedtime. Don't know about the end of the world, Luke, but it is the end of the live stream. Yes, I think we should go out on a positive note that everyone should check out the golden retriever Tucker Budzin on YouTube, because I think that's a positive thing. I think that's a very positive thing. We should all go and check out Tucker Budzin, the golden retriever, on YouTube. That would brighten up our days, I think. And we all need a bit of that. We should get those positives whenever we get them. So that's the advice going out. Watch cute animal videos on YouTube. And most importantly, look after yourselves. Hope to see you again soon. I actually don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. I didn't know I was going to be on tonight. It was a late decision. I don't know if I will be on tomorrow night, but I definitely will be during the week. Probably making some pineapple cocktails for my cocktail channel. And we shall take it from there. But look after yourself, one and all. Hope to see you again soon. I'll say bye for now.